Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of exciting information to share with you here today, and please feel free to share this information with your family, friends, relatives, and anyone else who you think may find this information helpful. We'll be sure to continue to post these updates on the city's social media platforms, website, and YouTube page, so we will continue to make them accessible to the members of the public. We will also be running these updates on Gardner Educational Television, and you can find that schedule on the city's website, www.gardner-ma.gov. Our first couple items that we're going to discuss here in this week's update all relate to our school system. The first thing we want to cover is that we will be continuing our school food options through the end of December 31st, providing free meals to anyone who has a student-aged person, whether or not they are a Gardner Public Schools student or not. This is something that we've done throughout the summer at Gardner High School and our other meal drop-off locations, and we will be able to continue that to provide free meals to students in the community up through at least December 31st. This is something that we were unsure if we were going to be able to continue or not due to the grant funding that's helping us to have this program, but we were able to secure that funding for at least the coming semester, and we'll be offering this free meal service through the end of the calendar year. At that point in time, we'll be giving you another update as how we go forward from there, and all of that will change depending on how the pandemic is going and where we are at that time. At the school committee meeting on Monday evening, the school committee voted to waive all costs for preschool in Gardner and make preschool in-person learning. We understand that many people in the community are having issues as a result of the pandemic, both in finding childcare and also financially, and we did not want to play a part in adding to that stress even further. So for the first time in the city's history, we will be offering free preschool at our public school system. Usual costs for preschool in the city is about $150 per month for half-day preschool and about $250 for full-day preschool. We'll be waiving those both completely, and all preschool programs will be free and in person starting on September 14th, the first day of school this academic year. And our last thing that I want to talk about the schools is I want to extend a very special thank you to all of our teachers, to our technology director, Bob O'Keefe, to Superintendent Pellegrino, and everyone else who took part in a very fun little project that we had this past weekend. As many of you know, this past weekend was tax-free weekend in Massachusetts. And we as a city are normally a tax-exempt organization. So sometimes reimbursing our staff members for costs that they have runs into some issues there where people pay sales tax on items and we can't reimburse them for that sales tax. And while we got the grant to purchase a bunch of new Chromebooks for our students in the upcoming school year, we are having a hard time finding a bulk order of Chromebooks. Everyone in Massachusetts and nationwide who's dealing with some type of either remote or hybrid learning is trying to procure Chromebooks or other different types of laptops now so that students will be able to learn adequately from home. So Director O'Keefe from our technology department reached out to the superintendent and I, and we were able to formulate a plan in which we asked our teachers and our staff members at Gardner Public Schools to go out on tax-free weekend and purchase any Chromebooks that they saw with a certain price cap. And if they were to purchase one, we would reimburse them for that price, and that would be how we build up our stockpile. I'm happy to announce that we were able to procure up to 4 classrooms worth of Chromebooks and are now able to provide every student in Gardner Public Schools with a Chromebook for them to use for the upcoming school year while they're learning remotely and as they transition into a hybrid model. When principals this year send out their school reopening plans to teachers and to parents as to how the upcoming school year will operate, they will also be sending out information on how to pick up your school-issued Chromebook at the different schools that we have throughout the district. This is something that we couldn't have done if everyone involved in the Gardner Public Schools family didn't come together and help support each other in these efforts, and I'm very excited to see what we were able to accomplish when we came together as a district. So thank you very much to our teachers, staff members, Superintendent Pellegrino, everyone at Central Office, and Director O'Keefe for making these plans possible so that when we start the school, all our students have the resources that they need to be successful. In other news, I want to give a brief update about the work that's being done downtown. All of the patching work has been completed. If you go to some of the intersections, you'll notice some of the sidewalks have been removed. The reason for that is the next step in our project is our DPW will be going through and putting in brand new concrete handicap ramps at each crosswalk intersection so that eventually when we go through and we replace the sidewalk over the next couple years, we have brand new ramp structures for those who require those types of accommodations to be able to cross the street safely when needed. So that is the next step in the project, is installing those new handicap ramps. And then sometime mid-September, they'll go through and lower all of the manholes and other caps that are located in the middle of the street so that when they go through and mill the pavement, they won't be hitting any structures in the way. After the milling, we'll go through and put the bottom coat of pavement down, and then sometime in the spring, we'll go back through and raise the structures and put the final coat of pavement, and that'll be the completion of the downtown paving project. I understand that this has been a long time coming and that this project has lasted quite some time as well, so I'm very excited to see the light at the end of the tunnel and where we could be going as part of our downtown with this project's completion as well. I also want to mention that our application for our micro enterprise grant program is now open. If you are a small business who fits the requirements of this grant program, you are eligible to apply for up to $5,000 in grant funding that you do not have to pay back at all to the city. And this is simply to help as a result of the pandemic. If you want further information on that, please contact Assistant Director Jeffrey Legros or Economic Development Coordinator Maribel Cruz in the Office of Community Development and Planning here at Gardner City Hall. There has been some confusion this past week about some demand letters that went out as a result of motor vehicle excise tax bills, and I wanted to explain that just a bit. Excise tax bills under the state law are required to be sent out to residents by February 1st. This past January, those bills were sent out and had a due date of March 2nd. The initial demand letter date that they were supposed to go out was around April 10th, April 15th, and about that area. However, as a result of the pandemic, the City Council voted to delay any issuance of any penalties, fines, and fees in the city until June 30th. That way, we would give our residents a little bit more of financial flexibility and they wouldn't have to worry about any penalties, interest, or fees that they owed the city at that time. During that time, we had some transition in our assessor's office, who plays a role with the treasurer collector's office in sending these letters out, and those letters went out this past week, which caused some confusion because those letters are for bills that were sent out 9 months ago. So if you received one of these letters and you have any questions about this process, please feel free to contact either the treasurer collector's office or the assessor's office here at City Hall, and those phone numbers can be found either on the city's website, www.gardner-ma.gov, or by dialing the main City Hall line, 978-632-1900, and going through the phone tree to find those two departments, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have on those matters. More information on this is also available on the city's website on the motor vehicle excise tax page. The last thing I would like to say today is that September is Childhood Cancer Month nationwide, and in fact this is the 50th anniversary of the initial declaration of September as Childhood Cancer Month. In commemoration of this, City Hall would be illuminated gold throughout the course of September, except for a few days here and there where we remember some other instances. And on Saturday, September 12th at 7 p.m. in front of Gardner City Hall, there will be a social distance get-together where we will officially proclaim Childhood Cancer Month in the city, and some families of those who have relatives who have had childhood cancer will be sharing their stories as well. All social distancing and masking guidelines and other COVID-19 guidelines will be followed, and we will be gathering all advice and input from the city's health department in terms of that event as well. However, that's this week's announcement. Until we speak again, please continue to watch out for your own mental and physical health, keep track of others, and make sure everyone's doing okay. And please stay safe, stay healthy, and until we talk again next week, have a good time. Thank you very much.